Alright, this is a discovery of a lifetime. Does everyone remember the stories, the old fables about gemstones the size of your head? Well, I worked out where they all come from because I used to read the old stories and I tried to figure out what they were actually talking about. What was hidden underneath all the superstitious mumbo jumbo? Because that's what's the real stuff. So I'm getting raw gold, and it is microscopic. See that mud? That's raw gold. That's how they played. The ancients played at buildings with this stuff. And it's still got a bit of iron in the mud. You can see that. But this stuff here is ridiculous. Where this comes from, they don't teach about. Have a guess what these are. These are the biggest impact gemstones you can find. It's actually crustal melt mass blended and then compressed. So you got massive diamonds, massive ores, massive, and they're all compressed with heavy minerals embedded. You can see the sparkles on these. But that's all gold and silver and stuff. It's all this stuff. So this is the ore I look for. And you can see how much goop. That's raw gold. That's what raw gold looks like. And this is sulfide ore. This is crustal melt from an impact. Not a volcano, from an impact. Massive impact, this one. Because the grains are huge. So this isn't a meteorite. This is a big one. Possibly a comet. Like the 1680-82 great comet that came past and dumped shit on Earth. You can see it in all the artwork of that era. The fall of the last civilization didn't happen that long ago. You can tell by the way they write then and how they write after the big incident that they don't teach their slaves about. And it's a fact, you can check that. You go through all the old maps, everything changed after the 1680-82 Great Comet came past. Even the calendar changed because the rotation of Earth changed too. We got whacked 3 times. Massive, massive impacts. And it produced shitloads of raw minerals. And it's all locked in this rock. Sulfide ores. These are ridiculous. This is massive gemstones. And these are very heavy. So you've got diamondized gold from an impact. And that's diamondized gold mud. So gold's usually soft. This stuff is rock hard. And that's iron and gold mud. It's been opalized on the outside of this massive diamond. So I literally found gemstones the size of your head. And some of these are big. Look at that big diamond. That's huge. And this is all in crustal flow, melt flows. They're heavy. That's ridiculously heavy, that one. And that's a heavy mineral diamond from impacts. Look at it. That's a heavy mineral diamond. It's got heaps of shit in it. This would probably be massive black diamond or something. That's bloody heavy. You can see it's in the diamond form. 3 sides. Three sides or 4 sides usually. And That's ridiculous. This is found around the same area as these ones. So this is all crustal melt impact diamonds and impact gemstones. And this is a little shard of one. And it is loaded. It is crazy. That's like really hard, sharp, like diamondized stuff. It's like ridiculous, and it's heavy. So this stuff has only just recently been formed. So this stuff breaks down really fast. It stinks. If you sit it out, they just crumble. They start off like this. So these are the solid bits that I managed to dig out. Usually you don't find the solid bits. Usually they break down really fast. This is like diamondized pressure points in the actual crustal melt. This is where all the minerals come from here. This is called Skyfall. Rarest stone on the planet. Because it doesn't last long. I've got some here. Let me turn that light on. So I've got some over here, and you can see that's a crustal melt impact mass. So probably that there is most likely a re-entry mud ball. So when the comets hit, this thing's flung up into the outer atmosphere and come back down again. You can see the big ball it's made, and it's just gone and splattered on the ground. So that one looks like it's just gone pretty well straight up and straight out and gone plop. And you can see that's how it's formed. Big ball. That'd be all diamondized. That's a diamondized re-entry crustal melt meteor. They're very rare. That there's worth fortune because you can actually see it. So this is all recent shit. You can see how much fucking gold, silver, iron, copper, fucking all sorts of shit in this stuff. This is where all the minerals come from, is this shit. You can see how this stuff here, this has been sitting here. This stuff stinks. It smells like rotten egg. So it's definitely like really high rich in sulfur. And some of this stuff is just freaky. So you got like diamondized blend. That's a big diamond again. Look at it. That's hard. So these are the pressure points in the mud flows. Size, gemstones. Like you cut into this is going to be amazing. That's a massive diamond. Look at it. Pressure diamond. You can see how much diamondization is on the outside. And this is rock hard. This is harder than this stuff. That stuff there is a bit soft still. But this stuff is diamondized. Plus, it's got heavy minerals embedded in a diamondization. So it's got gold, silver, iron, lead, copper, all that stuff compressed into it. And that's heavy. That's really heavy. That's a big diamond, that one. Who wants that one? 200,000. You guys can polish it up, make a couple million. Because that's ridiculous, that one. Wow. I've never seen a diamond that big before. Like, and that's, you can see it. Look at the sparkle in the thing. Holy crap, that's crazy. So that's one of my good ones. That's pretty cool, that one. I've got some other ones. There, you can tell which ones have been carbonised because they're darker. So these two have been carbonised. Some of them have little patches of carbonisation. Sometimes you get this sort of mud diamond. They're mud diamonds. That's impact diamond, them ones. You don't find many crystals looking like that very often. That's got green. That's probably depleted uranium, because usually where these are, there's a lot of depleted uranium, because they form in the same bandings, same flows, same impacts. So that there is probably a uranium stone. It could even be plutonium. But it's definitely been pressure diamondized. So, and you can, they're heavy. They're like really freaky. They got like, they want to pull down. So these ones are really strange ones. I've got this one here too. So this one here, oh, make sure that's gone. Looks like diamondized mud. And this is rock hard. You know, it's ridiculously hard, these ones. And it's real sharp. These cut into the high tensile glass. So these are diamondized mud from impacts. Some of these will be blended metals and they'll sound tinny. You know that? So that's probably the white metals, heavy white metals. So sulfur and gold, probably silver, and probably there's not much iron in this one because there's not much orange, not much oxidation. There's a few green crystals through it. So this is probably gold mud diamondized with moldavite or something, or depleted uranium. It's either moldavite or depleted uranium. You can see it's got like a funny green glow in the guts. So that's just raw. I haven't polished into that at all. You can see the funny patches on it. It's got a real funny green tinge, but it's like a goldy colour too. Let's look under the bright light, the sunlight. Yeah, it's definitely got gold in it. It glows. Glows like anything. That's gold. Very, very fine gold in that one. And that's rock hard. Anyway, so that's a trivia one. I found this big bolt too in the mud. It's probably some of the old civilization. Big old bolt. Pre-1680, before everything got fucked up, before humans got smacked in the ass. They're going to get smacked again if they keep going. So this mud flow that I found is ridiculous. It's got massive gemstones and boulders, and this is all bloody pressure ore. Most of it's freaky. That one there, that's black glass diamondized with heavy minerals embedded. You know, big fucking re-entry crustal melts. Massive mud flow diamonds. You know, this stuff they don't teach. This one's cool. So you can actually see, this has got all the minerals in it, all the heavy minerals. This is skyfall, also known as metal that falls from the sky or is formed from skyfall. Impact minerals. It's pretty well what the ancients were talking about. This is ether. This is how they used to build and plate everything in gold and stuff. This is the sulfur in there, so you don't have to go dig the sulfur out in the volcanoes anymore. You just find this stuff. There's fucking chockers full of sulfur. So you can make super concrete. So you can also use the byproducts for building. You know, this stuff is cool. I've been playing with it for about a year now. I discovered it quite a while ago. I finally got a setup where I can actually sit and play with it now. And this stuff is ridiculous. This is where all the minerals come from. This is called ether. Skyfall in Old Latin. It's what actually ether means. It's got nothing to do with any superstitious shit. You find out what the proper original meaning was, and then you can work out what it was. Look at that chunk of copper. Copper, gold, silver, iron. Man, this one here is fucking chockers. That's crazy. There's like fucking everything in this one. This is how minerals form. Big impacts. Massive impacts. So this is where all the metals come from. So, and I like washing them out, but wash the ore out. Like I showed you before, you can see how the gold mud sort of sludges up. I've been soaking that and then washing it once a day for the last 3 days. And you can see how gold nuggets form from this stuff. This is raw gold, and gold nuggets and everything are secondary deposits. So the gold nuggets everyone finds isn't actually raw gold. It's oxidized stained gold. Because that's what this shit forms. The original state of gold is bright yellow. Literally the colour of the sun, not the orange, hazed out sun. Bright yellow. You can see that. That's ridiculous. Under the light. See? That's how gold nuggets form. See how loaded this stuff is. It's fucking ridiculous. And that's heavy. Just that little bit of mud is ridiculous. It's probably about 2 kilos. Just that little bit. It's fucking heavy. And I wash that out like 3 days straight. There's still more in there. It's pretty cool. So, as you wash them out, all the drain off water, I sit and filter. And then when you drain the water off, there's heaps in that too. So you end up getting shitloads of fine gold and iron. And this stuff's freaky. So I'll let this sit for a while, chuck some vinegar and other shit in it, and it helps to dissolve a lot of the oxidizing minerals. And then most of the gold will start gooping up. You end up with that sulphur, grey sulphur fucking powder, and the white powder in it still. They're really hard to get out, so I'm trying new fluxes soon. I've got one flux set up ready to go in my next lot of smelt, just to try another way up. And like I get this all the time, just looks like mud till it dries out, and it turns into this. You most don't realise where gold comes from. And that's ridiculous. That's like fucking over a kilo in that one. And I've got fucking heaps of them. 59 grams. See, what's in this one? And it's still not that purified, so because it's so fine, it's really hard to purify it completely. That's probably the best you can get it. If you have the right fluxes, you can actually smelt it pretty easily. That's 57 grams of nanite raw gold. I've got heaps, all different grades too. That's one I did yesterday. Still got a bit of sulphur in that one. It's all nanite gold, this stuff. So everyone thinks it's just mud. Just looks like mud until you look at it closer. And they're pretty heavy. Some of the stuff is pretty fluffy. If it's real fresh and it hasn't condensed, like condensed into blobs like these sort of ones, that I sort of make the dust condense up a bit. So I'm trying to experiment in forming my own nuggets, but a bit more pure. So using the same technique as what nature does, I've managed to make the same mud that the gold nuggets form from. So I'm pretty sure if you get heat, chemical reaction, heat, pressure and stuff, and put these in like a vat of heavy water or something, they'll probably condense up and form nuggets. But you've got to do it the right way. And some of this is pretty cool. Some of it's really stained, oxidized. So most people don't understand where gold comes from. And it's pretty easy once you watch what's going on. That's a pretty nice lot. It's real fine gold, that one. It's the right colour. That's like the secondary deposit gold because it's got that slight orangey. The raw stuff looks like this. That stuff. See, it's real bright yellow. It's paler. It's a lot more paler than the other lot. So that's raw gold. That's actually discovered where all the minerals come from, and no one's taken me seriously. It's pretty sad. And once you work this stuff out, you find, like these, I've got all the powder, all these. That's ore, so raw ore ready to sell. And I've got friggin' 2.8 kilo, that's all powder. 3.101 and 3.173. That's pretty well 9 kilos just sitting there. I've got 13 kilos in my cupboard. I've got reckon all them there this week's lot, so I haven't weighed them big ones up. Plus I've got all this. You know, once you work it out, it's freaking easy. And I can make my own rivers of gold now. What's this? Get closer. And this stuff stinks of real. Got a lot of sulfur in this stuff. Rivers of gold. And because it's fine, you see what it's doing? It does the complete opposite of what you do. I'm pushing back on it and it's fucking shooting forward. Look how much is in this dirt. See, this is the first wash, so you can see it's still got a lot of grainy shit, still got a lot of the rusty and the iron bits in it. Once that all rusts out, it'll take a couple of days to soak this and clean it out a bit more, add more to it and filter it, and I can make that pretty good. So, and you can see what the fine gold does. There's nano gold, this stuff, this is raw gold, this is where gold comes from. It's a fact, and it's so fine, people think it's dirt. It's not even the normal gold colour, because the normal gold colour people think's raw is actually stained gold. That's actually a fact. And you can see as the gold sitting in the iron rusts, the gold goes a funny colour. That's how you clag it up. This is the oxidation of the rust will help clag the gold up, because gold likes iron. Gold likes magnetic things. That's why it sticks to quartz. Most quartz has magnesite through it, like those little black filaments. That's magnetic filaments that go through the quartz. The gold likes to stick to that. And that's a fact. I've been playing with it, watching what it does. And that's my big tub. I like playing in this one because it's fucking nice and wide and you can get the fines to settle. Yeah, there's quite a bit sitting in here, but it's still dirty. I'm going to wash it a few more times. So, it's very fine gold. Really fine gold and stuff. Let it dry out, let it settle, let it dry out, let it settle. Give it a stir, shake it around, add more, give it a stir, give it a filter, put it back in. Yeah, might take a few days, but I'll get that clean.